Message to some of the young fellas, those with ambition of becoming big drug dealers. This idea of big money is nothing new. All convicts and criminals thought so too. Some may seem to reap the fruits of success, but believe me, this straight and narrow is best. Law must establish jurisdiction over all. Yes, a thing called retribution, no man never escape from. And since the beginning of time, it never failed.
Never failed, never failed.
99 days for the drug dealer, 99 days for the money launderer. One day for the Lord. Believe it one day when your time comes. I hope your heart is strong, because you can't outrun forever the long arm of the law. Love-me-doy, 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 love-me-doy. Hey. Yeah. Leader day, da-da-doy, da-da-day, da-da-day. Yeah. We have seen the fall of many notorious gangsters, secured by their gunmen and murderers. Many do those folks have passed this way, who never lived to enjoy one peaceful day. Every man is part of a bigger plan. That's why when you eliminate another man, any day, anytime your past must catch up to you. On a quiet night on the street, a bullet with your name on it. Somebody you did wrong, come back for you.
Back for you, back for you.
99 days for the gangster, 99 days for the gunslinger. One day for the Lord. Believe it one day when you think you're safe. Boom, right there in your face. You can't outrun forever the long arm of the law. Alamiday, 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 alamiday. Leader day, la-da-day, la-da-day, da-da-day. Yeah. Justice makes no exception for corrupt politicians who think they can get away with doing wrong. And political people should understand, every government is just for a time. At some point in time, power must change hands. Boy, at some point an investigation. So when you are in power, make sure you put your house in order. Remember, baby, that had to run. Saddam could not run, because whatever goes around must come around.
Goes around, come around.
99 days for politricksters, 99 days for the wrongdoers. One day for the Lord. sudden fall comes out of nowhere. No man can outsmart forever the long arm of the Lord. Alabide, 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 alabide.
We live in a time when the rulers of men are scornful of principles of godliness, wisdom, and freedom. But woe, woe, woe,
Woe comes swiftly.
man. But woe, woe, woe,
Woe comes quickly.
yes. They use and abuse women. They raise no children. They live a life of wicked thoughts, corruption, embarrassment, and shame. So in order to maintain power against the very forces of nature, they need to have the citizens living in fear. Man, but be not afraid, for fear is your enemy. A man afraid to speak of what oppresses him, enslave himself to a man just like him. But be not afraid, for woe comes suddenly. Sin, just as the longest road comes to a bend, so do the evil works of evil men come to soon to come to an end. I sing, came, but be not afraid, for will come suddenly. I sing, just as the longest road comes to a bend, so through the evil works of evil men bound to soon to come to an end. I sing,
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, Petit Martinique. The rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you're listening. My Dominican, you probably find that term Dominican tonight. My Dominican friends, good night to you. I haven't heard from Linky Duran for a good while. Linky! What's up, bro? So special good night to all my St. Lucian listeners. Those of you listening in St. Kitts, Antigua, Montserrat, good night to you. Barbuda, yeah, good night to you, Barbuda. Yeah, take my number, call on me. But not yet, we ain't opened the phone lines yet, yeah? You know, some people say it and they start to call. No, we open the phone lines yet, eh? Nice, yeah, we have things to talk about first before we open the phone lines tonight. Yes, indeed, yes. Remember, folks, you've just got 2 days to bring in your information regarding the addendum to the voters list. So I do hope that many of you spend the weekend going through when you got some time, and that you all were able to filter out and identify all those names that are on the voters list, that you've been able to put a face to every name, and that you've confirmed that that name and that face actually belongs in the polling division and constituency where they say they are from, because they had to say they're from there to get registered, innit?
We're on the road. Go tell our enemies.
Let me say a good night to you, Mr. Adrian Watson, Mrs. Watts.
NMP guy.
Good night to you, Claude Abraham.
We on the road, yeah.
Good night, Alban Harris, yeah?
Be guidance. Be our guide.
Mommy George, good night to you.
Session for us.
Camille Teresa Scott, yeah.
Be
Good night to you, my love.
this you could never stop. We're on the road. We're on the road. NMP on the road. We're on the road.
Martin, good night to you and your lovely wife.
We're on the road.
My retired police officer next door, good night to you as well.
Go tell our enemies. NMP on.
Mr. and Mrs. Crookshank, it's been a while, but good night to both of you.
NMP guy. We on the road.
And let me also say good night to each and every one of you listening on the YouTube, those of you on the Facebook. Nurse Wendy McGuire, good night to you.
They say we send us far.
Isadora, good night to you. Sorry, Isadore.
But NMP higher than we don't mix up in a
And let me say a belated happy birthday to you, my good friend Heather.
NMP is standing.
Transportation, yeah?
We're on the road. We're on the road.
I will formally call and apologize, yes?
We're on the road. NMP guide us. We're on the road.
Patricia and Matthew, good night. My good friend out there in Oshawa in Canada, good night to you as well. A Fat Man George, good night, bro.
We on the road.
Helen Marie and Associates, good night to you.
Tell them.
MF, good night.
Right. Tell them be careful cause the house is
Let me say a special good night to you, Mr. Hudson Macphill.
and your neighbor, brother, sister.
Hope that you're having a wonderful night tonight, Pops. Yeah.
Rise up. My
Don't think of you every day, Mr. Macphill. Yes, indeed. Not reach out, yes, but you know, you're in my thoughts and prayers.
NMP guide us. We're on the road.
Also, we send our prayers to journalist Linda Straker.
NMP on the road.
Hope you're improving, my dear.
NMP guide.
I know the children go tell you. You ain't gonna be listening. I know the children go tell you.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. And folks, over the weekend, the price of fuel went up to $17, yeah?
Fed up with these people and everyone. I can't take it again.
The price of fuel across the board, so fuel, kerosene, gasoline, all went up to $17.
Believing the 10 commandments. I say, oh, people holding their head and start to cry.
I did say that to you on Friday night, that that is the price it would go up to. Now, usually, when you have the increase in the price of fuel, that information comes up. If the 18th is on the Saturday or the Sunday, that information usually would come out the Friday. Sometimes it would come out the Saturday if the 18th is the Sunday. Sometimes it may come out on the Saturday, but generally it comes out on the Friday, yeah? So the price changes took effect at midnight Friday. It took effect at midnight, yeah?
What about them this place? Some government ministers driving the PM mad, and some against say nothing, no believe in God. If it
So there's been a $1.82% increase in the price of gasoline.
like this is the poor man and them, the poor man and them,
A 89-cent increase in relation to the price of diesel,
the poor man and them.
and a $3.90 increase in relation to kerosene, yeah? A 20-pound cylinder of gas remains the same, yeah, as it has been for nearly the last 15 years or so. 100-pound cylinder has a $53.40 increase. And if you're buying liquid petroleum gas, yeah, liquefied petroleum gas, that has a 55-cent increase. That's the bulk price, yeah? And indeed, it was strange to me that the price change took place on Saturday, yet the new price was never announced publicly by the government. Usually, when there's a price change, you can go to the GIS page and the price change is there. And you also get an email from the government of Grenada that says, this is the new price. But they're so ashamed that they didn't want to come out with the pricing. And then there are some folks, and I've been paying attention to some threads on the internet. I've been paying attention to some of the stuff that's being said there. And it boggles the mind. Yeah, it boggles the mind to see the abject, I don't want to say, I would not use the word stupidity because I don't believe these people are stupid people. I understand that these people are trying to defend their party. So the Honorable Emlyn Pear, she made a post where she spoke to the increase in the price of gas, yeah? And simply saying, by moving the cap from 15 to 17, the government shifted the financial burden onto the citizens' pockets. Gas has officially hit the $17 ceiling. A cap is not relief if it forces you to pay $2 more per gallon than before. Yeah? And she is correct in her statement. There is nothing wrong in the statement that she made. So I was going through the comments, and let's just quickly go through some of the comments here. And there's someone by the name of Cardi Lewis here who obviously has no understanding of what they're speaking about. Stop playing politics with this. 2 months ago we were enjoying $13.58. If the government capped it at 15, how would we have enjoyed low gas price for months? Idiot! Idiot! If it was capped at 15, you would have still be paying $13.58. Idiot! I'm sorry to get like that this early in the program, but stupid people does annoy me. In this case, that's stupidity. Because if you cap something at $15, it does not mean that the price can go below the cap. It means the price can go above the cap, stupidity. But you see, you all don't know what you're speaking about, and you still want to come and expose the fact that you don't know what you're speaking about. Additionally, the government only collected $3.50 on gas, when under your government it was $5 VAT. Now let me explain something here. Under our government, you the Grenadian taxpayer, you the bus drivers, you the people who have your personal vehicle, the companies, all of us, we were paying how much? $15. All this Malay and gas stupidness here about $3.50 and you change it to $5, and who changed it from $5 to $3.50. The bottom line is how much you, the consumer, are paying. So you, the consumer, are paying how much now? 17. Under the new National Party, you were paying 15. So you are paying more under the NDC than you would have been paying had they listened to the advice of the NNP at the time. I remember the Honorable Emlyn Pear, and I'll play that tomorrow night. I didn't get a chance to grab that clip tonight, but I'll play that tomorrow night for you. I remember the Honorable Emlyn Pear and Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell saying during budget presentation at the end of 2022, you all should not interfere with the cap. And this is the reason, since then, with the vision, to be able to say, since then, you're going to find yourself in problems, and the people who are going to pay the price, not the government, you, the Grenadian taxpayer, are the ones paying the price right now. So this individual obviously doesn't understand. And then you have others here because they come in like the army under that particular post now. So you have one by the name of Tamika Roberts, obviously sent there. Does she look at international news and see what's going on? Of course you look at international news. That is the reason for the last 3 months, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, the New National Party, and people like myself have been saying, put measures in place to protect the Grenadian people with the cost of living. Yeah? And you're speaking here about placing blame. All I want to speak about placing blame? Okay, all right. We go speak about placing blame. I ain't even going through some of the rest of things because they're not worthy of my time. Yeah? Those were not worthy of my time either. But I just wanted to expose to you the nonsense that's going on under a sensible post. You have people who have no sense coming under the post simply to attack. They don't even understand what they're talking about. So you have one fool coming to talk about if the cap was at $15, then you would have to be paying $15 a couple months ago when the price was down at $13 something. No, fool. You would have been paying 13 something. But if the price was as it is now, you would have been paying 15. Last month, you would have been paying 15, not 15, 18. You would have been paying 15. Understand how a cap works before you open your trap. And that goes across the board for all of you that are commenting under there and obviously don't know what you're speaking about. Because it seems as though the opposition leader must keep she mouth quiet and all you alone must talk and all you alone must... Listen, there are people right now we are hearing from the taxi men. I have heard from some taxi guys. I've seen posts by them where they have increased the price of a drop right now, short, drop long, drop all kind of thing. They increase their prices. And they have increased their prices because of the cost of fuel. They've increased it. They say they cannot continue. The busmen, some busmen are grumbling. Some busmen are grumbling. I see a busman fight for $5 today, and some other people on the bus, they were laughing at that. And I said there, at the point in time, I said, no, you all have to understand something, Gasoline is now $17 a gallon. That $5 going towards that gas that he has to get, well, gallon or liter, I can't remember exactly which one we're using there. But that $5 is going towards that. So if it looks like he's going to lose a $5, he's going to do his best to get it because he understands what he's going through. And then you have individuals who are out there saying, well, give an increase to the busmen and give an increase to the taximen. No, I don't agree with that. Let me state, and busmen, some of you all go vex with me for this. I do not agree with any increase to the busmen at this point in time. And the reason that I would not say give them an increase, I'd say there are other means to help them. There are other mechanisms that can be used to help them. I realize when I talk, they just want to take my ideas like if I run in government, so I ain't going into details. All I will say is that there are other means to assist the busmen so that you could ease them up other places so that the effect of the gas, because they go through other things, Remember, that replace tires and parts regularly, probably more than anybody else. They have to replace parts very regularly. So you could affect the costing on those sides that would even it out when it comes to the gas. And there are several other things that can be done and can be put in place to assist busmen instead of raising the price. Because if you increase the price, no, it's not going to help the busmen they're going to end up just at the same level. It's not going to help them, it's going to balance them, but it's going to affect the general population. Those are the people that are going to be directly affected. So when I see people, I see one individual say they're running for office and they're talking about give the busmen and give the taxi drivers an increase. Hey, the busmen and the taxi drivers, yes, they are one set of people. It just shows how not ready you are for any sort of public life, because you don't even understand the simple concept of what you are indeed saying there is going to affect the parents that already catching their nenen to send their children to school. It is going to affect the elderly lady that usually would get the little taxi to drop her home because the children in Canada send a little 50 for her. And when she go and she does her groceries and so, because of where she live and the bus don't go, she would usually get a little taxi to drop her home. And now she's been priced out of the market. She had to get a taxi and try and see if she could get somebody to bring the goods up for her. She had to get a bus, and see if she could get somebody to bring the goods up for her because she can't afford the taxi again. So we have to understand what we're saying here. Again, and some folks may not understand why I personally take the position I take on different things from time to time. And the reason is, I have a very clear understanding that you're in opposition now, but in 1 month from now, you could be sitting watching the NNP government being sworn in 1 month from now. Yeah? And you don't want to have to do like the NDC is doing now. You don't want to have to go and change what you were saying when you were in opposition and say something different now that you're in government. No. You don't want to have to be doing that. You want to ensure that whatever you're saying now could stand. Yeah? So you don't want to have to be doing that. You don't want to have to be like some of the NDC activists and so. Yeah, remember some of them under the NDC when they used to be making statements like that. Yeah? That's one of the major activists right now. Yeah? They had, at that point in time, it was the problem of the government. Now, is don't blame the government. That one of the activists back in what? That was 7th of September 2018. Yeah? So that was the price of gas was over 16 a gallon and gas was coming from Trinidad, blah, blah, blah. So everything then was the government. But now, is don't blame the government, it's not the government. It's the world prices, it's world this and the world that. Yeah? So you don't want to ever end up in a situation where you had to be saying something like a particular government minister on the 18th of March 2021. You don't want to have to end up like the member of parliament for the Great South, for now that is, who on the 18th of March 2021 made the statement, while you were asleep, let me give you an insight as to what's been going on with the prices. And he knew at that point in time, cooking oil, cheese, salt, fish, split peas, lentil peas, ground peanuts, flour. He knew all them things went up. He knew pig snout went up, pigtail, and also gas price. He knew all of that went up back then. Yeah? And who were they giving the blame? I should have shown you the comments on that. Who were they giving the blame at that point in time? The government. Yeah? They were giving the government the blame on all of those things. It was NNP. Yeah? Look, one of their chief cook and bottle washer, well, maybe cylinder washer, you know. Yeah. 18th of April 2020. Y'all realize that the poor man 20 cylinder for cooking gas is the same $40 price, while the 100 cylinder reduced from $190 to $155. Yeah? The government needs to do something for the poor man. Take off $10, make the price 30. Jeez, man. The poor man, I feel it. Yeah, boss. He knew that very well then. I wonder what he had to say now. What do you have to say now? You knew that very well at that point in time, Brother Robinson. What do you have to say now? The poor man, I feel it. Fix it. All you hypocrite. Why you ain't call on the government now to fix it? Yeah, because the poor man, I feel it. What the price of gasoline and diesel and thing was at the point in time that he was crying out. Yeah, $11 there, $11 there, $5 there, $17 now, eh? $17 now, so I know. Yeah. That didn't age well. That didn't age well. That did not age well. Yeah? That didn't age well, neither did this, eh? Why are you asking that question now? Yeah, that was on the 6th of September 2017. Canadians, do you know that 38 cents of every dollar you spend on gas is tax? $50 gas, $19 tax. Where's the calculation now? A little lower it isn't it, but people still paying more now than they were under the NN. That's the bottom line. People are paying more now than they were paying under the NDC. So don't come under no posts and all kind of thing with all this stupid talk. The same way they was running down the government then. Tell us how the money that we're paying in tax on the gas now is benefiting us now. You asked that question then. And remember this one? This one was from when the in government. Enjoy the new gas price tomorrow. This is again the Minister for the Great South on the 17th of September 2022. The Minister for the Great South, man. Enjoy the new gas price tomorrow. Why cap it at 15 when we can give you for less? Because even the Minister for the Great South, guys are even having so much problem with that. Anyway, the Minister for the Great South did not understand what a cap was. The cap was so that you don't go more than, but it allowed you to go less than. So if the price was $13, you pay 13. If it was 12, you pay 12. If it was 11, you pay 11. But if it was 16, you pay 15. If it was 15, 18, you pay 15. If it was 20, you pay 15. You all took that cap out, and that is simply what the leader of His Majesty's opposition was speaking about for people with sense. That is what she was speaking about. She was simply saying, we had it at that level. We encouraged you. She is on record. The Hansard of Parliament has her on record for perpetuity, saying straight up, you all making a mistake. You all should not remove the gas cap. She's on record saying that. Yeah? But you all didn't want to listen. You all didn't want to listen. And now who is paying the price? The average man out there. The busmen are crying out. Because remember, it's costing them more to operate their business, and it has been doing over the years. And let's be honest, that has been the case with them. They get hit with this. So it go up to that. But you say, okay, we're not letting them increase the price because later in the year, if the conflict in the Middle East doesn't start to erupt again, that we hope it does not, the price will go down. And therefore, it would go under what the cap is. So you might see it go down to $12, you might see it go down to 13, you might see it even go down to 11. If the conflict ends and there are no major shocks taking place. But if that conflict erupts again, and you realize they start to target oil refineries and power infrastructure and all this sort of thing, and they start to target shipping in the Straits of Hormuz and all these places, it's going to affect the cost internationally, which is going to affect the cost here, which means we may end up with the $17 being the cost for a number of months. Maybe even the rest of the year. And we had to hope that that don't happen. But it could end up being the case that that ends up being the cost for the rest of the year. Which means that that would become kind of semi-permanent for the busmen and the taximen and others, the businesses that deliver goods to you. It becomes more expensive for them and they have to recoup their money somehow, so they're going to put it onto the transportation cost. The goods coming into the country right now on vessels that are coming into the country, those goods are going to be more expensive to land in Grenada because the cost of transportation is increasing. What has this government done to protect you and to protect me? Have you seen our Minister of Finance? I see you dropping off. I see he dropping off sand and thing, but yeah, he drop off sand. I hope you didn't get that sand from George Wilman. I hope you didn't get that sand from George Wilman, brother. Yeah, you have a kind of history when it comes to sand and I hope you didn't get that sand from me. So folks, understand where I'm coming from. That's what we need our Minister of Finance. And again, I think he's one of the more intelligent people within the administration. I may have my problems with him, but one thing I will not say is that Dennis Cornwall is a stupid man. I would not say that about him. Yeah, no, and I'm being honest, I would not say that about. I believe, honestly, he's one of the more intelligent people in the government. Yeah, he ain't winning his seat because he's a very weak MP. He spent his time doing other things instead of sorting out the people at St. Patrick as they hired him to do. He was bothering with all kind of other nonsense. In fact, making stupid statements where right now he should have been in Washington or wherever at the World Bank meeting, and he can't go because they pull his visa, so he can't go. So he had to stay here as acting prime minister while he boss go on lime in Africa. Because you know the boss has had to go on lime in Africa every few months. He had to go and renew the thing. Yeah. So every few months he had to go in Nigeria and lime. Or Ghana and lime. Yeah? But we understand that other countries are doing things to protect their people. They are doing things to buffer the cost of electricity. They are doing things to buffer the cost of transportation and the cost of landed goods. Because the ocean freight cost, the air cost, all of these things are going up. You have airlines right now that are saying, JetBlue, saying that, hey, because of the price of fuel right now, it's not economic for us. We may have to go out of business. And then they're trying to sell JetBlue to other airlines, and the other airlines saying, because we had to pay for the same fuel too, And you all already have a debt burden on you. And if we take on that debt burden, it's going to drag our existing company down so far, we might end up having to sell our company too, so we can't buy it. So JetBlue itself, they're in problems, financial problems. Caribbean Airlines, close to a month ago, was already complaining that, hey, we are going to go bankrupt because of the cost of fuel. And they were asking who? The government of Trinidad and Tobago to bail them out. They were saying to the government, yo, help us. Other than that, we're going to go out of business. But here in Grenada, our Prime Minister is busy to go and fly and meet the partner in them in some part of Africa, some part of Nigeria that really don't have any major business, has no major thing that they can help the people of Grenada, but he go online. So he go on there, I think that's some fishing tournament or something there, so he go on online there. May know if them pay, he pay, whoever pay, but he go on online. While we here are wondering if they increase the price of the bus, if the busmen and them decide, hey, we stick into it, we had to get an increase. How will we send our children to school? How will we go to work, much less send our children to school? We're wondering that. Those who live in areas where, and believe me, there's some areas in Grenada that people rely on taxis heavily to go to and from. And if you know the system in places like St. John, you realize that there, apart from the bus system, there's a taxi system. In fact, it's one of the places I see the most efficient taxi system been operating for many years now. That you could call a taxi, hey, I want to go up Clogier or I want to go Florida or wherever and thing. I need to reach in Loreto, and you could call a guy and he pull up and he pick you up a road, that kind of thing. So they will be affected negatively by the continuing increases in the price of fuel. It will affect them. And we're simply saying, you are government. Other governments doing it. Where's your problem? Why can't you put measures in place to protect the Grenadian people? The same way that Gaston Brown doing it. Yes, we know he's facing an election. But the same way all of the others are doing that and protecting their people, that you can do the same thing too. To protect the people of Grenada. That's all they're asking for. Protect the people of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. Show that you have some sort of care and concern for them. Yeah? Let's see what's going on up the islands there, man. Yeah, let me see what one of the up the islands saying there. Wait, just bring it up here. Yeah. Let me see what they're saying up there. WPG 10 report and thing. Let me see what other countries doing. Oh, come on. So I'm just trying to get this report for you here. Let me just pull it off and get it to the right size, everything for you. And for some reason, I'm not getting audio. I don't know why. Yeah, I'm just not getting the audio on this one. Yeah, it's just not playing. But it's there. They were subsidizing. That's in the British Virgin Islands. They're subsidizing the rising. In other words, they are putting a buffer to deal with the rising fuel costs. But outside of the fuel costs, you have to take into consideration the increases in the cost of food. The increases in various. I'm very interested to see the CPI that will be coming out for the next for the months of February and March 2026. I'm very interested in seeing what those, especially March. I'm interested in seeing what the consumer price index says for those periods of time. Because your salary isn't going to change significantly anytime soon. Regardless of all the nonsense government been speaking about, oh, we're increasing salaries and we're doing all of this. Increasing salaries and people can't get the money. That making sense to all you? You're increasing salaries and people can't get the money. So what sense? What sense does that make? When you're increasing prices and people cannot get their, you're increasing salaries and people can't get a basic money. Makes absolutely no sense. But this is what we're facing. Yeah? This is what we're facing. Folks, I'm going to open the phone lines. 440-7377. That's 440-7377. I'm going to open the phone lines now. You can give us a call, yeah? Nice, yeah. I'm going to open the phone lines now.
Man, I fed up with these people and everyone. I can't take it again, man. Sometimes I sit and wonder what's wrong with this government. Or if they ever believe in the 10th commandment. I see more people hold it there and start to cry.
The government of the British Virgin
Yeah, it seems as though I'm getting this to play now. Let me just bring it across. Yeah, let me just bring that across. Yeah.
Islands has announced adopting a $1 million per month subsidy on electricity for all customers. The measure is among 5 other measures announced by Premier Dr. Natalia Whitley to cushion the effects of the ongoing conflict in the Middle East, which continues to create global shocks and drive up fuel prices and the cost of goods and services. The measure, which begins immediately and will run in place for a 3-month period, comes after the BVI Electricity Corporation stated that customers could see increases of as much as 50% on average.
My government is addressing the high cost of electricity bills on families and businesses. The General Manager informed me that without government intervention, customers would see increases on their electricity bills as high as 50% on average. To address this steep increase, the government will be subsidizing Virgin Islands customers by $1 million per month for a 3-month period starting immediately. This step is designed to lower electricity costs for both households and businesses right away, helping families manage expenses and reducing businesses' operational costs.
Whitley said that beginning in May, the government will lower import duties and reduce port fees for residents. The reduction in port fees will be in effect for the next 3 months. He explained that duties will now be levied only on the value of goods rather than on increased shipping costs.
With global fuel prices on the rise, shipping is getting more expensive, and the current system effectively taxes those higher costs. The new approach should decrease the landed price of imported goods, relieve inflationary pressure on essential items like food, and help stabilize prices throughout the economy. This is intended to start in May. Thirdly, for the next 3 months, my government will reduce the wharfage fee on incoming cargo from 2% to 1% and cut the container charge from $300 to $150. Combined with the removal of duties on freight and insurance, these actions will lessen financial strain on businesses, support price stabilization, and limit price increases for consumers.
Premier Whitley also announced the government's planned duty-free basket of essential food items, which is also set to run for 3 months.
Starting in May, my government will implement a protected basket of goods with further duty reductions to the items essential for maintaining our basic needs. This should stabilize prices on specific goods so the most vulnerable members of society will continue to have access to vital food and necessities without escalated costs. Fifthly, my government is committed to ensuring that these relief measures directly benefit everyday households. We are introducing legislative amendments to the Consumer Protection Act and approving regulations to regulate prices on a basket of goods. These amendments will allow the Consumer Protection Act to come into force, providing a comprehensive framework to protect consumers from price gouging and other anti-consumer practices.
Yeah, so what protection is your government here giving you? That's the British Virgin Islands. Last week, I showed you all what was taking place in Dominica and the protections that Dominica is putting in place for their citizens. And I also showed Barbados week before, or when I showed Barbados and what Barbados is doing to protect their people. So all of the countries, all of the islands, doing things to protect their people. Our ministers here, they're busy with nonsense. Yeah? What they're supposed to be focusing on, they're not focusing. And then you have their sycophants and brown nosers. When you do a program or you make a post in relation to the cost of living and what is taking place now, making tangible, realistic, sensible recommendations of what to do to protect the average person here in Grenada, these individuals who are not the ones that had to pay $45 from Gov to closure, as one person messaged me a while ago and tell me, $45 for a taxi from Gov to closure. They are not the ones paying that, so they don't care. And then when you realistically check, and that's why I say I love the diaspora. Remember, folks out in the diaspora, I love you all. And as far as I'm concerned, you all have a major part to play in whatever takes place in Grenada. Your remittances that come back to Grenada are significant, have a significant impact on the Grenadian economy. That goes without saying. At times of disaster, when we are at our lowest, you all always step to the plate. Nobody don't even have to ask all. By the time all a hurricane come in, let's start to pack. Barrel, container. Let's start to network with all your friends. Medical equipment, things for the elderly. You all always there. But you all must also take the opportunity to understand what the average Grenadian is going through. Because there are a lot of people that are really going through it here in Grenada. Governance is not about the pretty pictures and fancy videos. Governance is not about putting on sash and sandals. Governance is not about if you could dress her like Gary and talk like Maurice Bishop. Governance is nothing like that. Governance is about how you are able to positively affect the lives of the average Grenadian. How you are able to make people move from point A to point B in their life. How you are able to positively impact the young people so that they get more and more reasonable, sensible opportunities that will realistically affect their lives in a positive sense. It is our, we take care of our elderly so that we don't have the cost of taking care of our elderly increasing to 33.33%. So that many families trying their very best now, and I want to use a better word, but there's none to use, trying to dump the elderly in some of the homes. The ones that you don't have to pay for, in fact, some of them oversubscribed. That's what they're trying to do because they cannot take care of them. Not because they physically can't do it. They economically can't do it. They really can't. And then when they try to get these people on the seed program, people play magie papa with the information and they can't get them on the seed program for some assistance. That you have in situations, I meet a lady walking in the road to drop off my son. I met a lady tell me, she said, Shalon, you know, I realize I'm not getting the seed. So I call the seed office. I call the office. When I give my name, I hear a girl in the background. Oh, don't bother with she. She's a NNP. That's the kind of thing that's happening in our country right now. Don't bother with she. She's a NNP. Not don't bother with her. She has means to take care of herself. Not don't bother with her. She's unfairly under the program. She has financial means. Not don't bother with her. We are going to deal with her a little later on. We are saying, don't bother with her. She's a NNP. That's what we have going on here. That's not governance. We know Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell over the years has made governance look easy. The way he's been able to face challenges, the way he's been able, by this point in time, you already would have had a situation where Dr. Mitchell would have called not just Grenada, on a regional level. He would have picked up the phone and called all the other prime ministers in the OECS and premiers and say, listen, let's get together and let's come up with a regional plan. He'd have called the OECS together and say, let's get together with a regional plan of how we address this. He would have then gone further outside of the circle of the OECS to the CARICOM and said to the CARICOM heads of government, this is a clear and present danger to our people. As clear and present a danger as when we had COVID. And therefore we need a unified approach to how we address this. Food security, transportation costs. We need to have a regional approach in relation to that. But instead of doing that, our Prime Minister wants to be interlocutor, however it is. But he wants to be middleman between the United States and Venezuela. That is what he was bothering to be. Instead of watching and saying, hey, this is what's going to happen to our country. We need to protect our people. And we need to protect our region. And no one is saying it's wrong to do that. But priority. Priority number one is the people that get up election day, go in the polling station, know that when they cast that particular ballot, they're getting as the Prime Minister, and still went and make that mistake. Those are the people that you're responsible for. Not trying to look like the Newbury's bishop. That is not governance. That is definitely not governance. And understanding where we are now, and understanding that in just a few weeks, you can have the Honorable Emlyn Pierre as Prime Minister of Grenada. You expect me to come here and be making all kind of stupid statements in relation to things like this? And even if it was 2 years ago, I would not make statements like that because I know you're in opposition now, but very soon you will be in government. And that such a story can be one for when you're in opposition and one when you're in government. It can't. During the time of the new National Party in government, when it came to fuel costs, NNP said, listen, there are world challenges that is increasing the price of fuel. We are going to take these measures at home. They capped the gas price. Right. That wasn't the only measure they took. They looked at the list of items, food items. They said, okay, these food items and them, we're going to zero rate them. These we're going to reduce the VAT on them and so on. So that the old people who can barely afford to buy something, that they would still be able to afford to buy it. But not only that, they looked at the cost of electricity and they say, boy, if that comes true, you're going to see probably a doubling of the cost of electricity. Let us protect the people. So what did the NNP do? They looked at the non-fuel component. The fuel component is what increases significantly the price of electricity. Government can't really control that. What you can control is the non-fuel component. So NNP sat down in cabinet and said, hey, we are going to take the hit. We're going to reduce and nearly eliminate the non-fuel component of the electricity bill. So they reduced on that end. And what did that do? that kept the electricity bill at a certain level that the average Grenadian was able to pay it. You didn't have to go and get cut off and think you could have paid. Simple economics, simple common sense, but let's not accuse them of having that.
Right.
We have a caller online. Hello, good night.
Good night, Sheldon Scott. How are you doing, sir?
I'm quite fine. I hope folks are hearing you properly. I'm hearing you properly, so I hope folks are hearing you properly. They'll message and let me know. But go right ahead, bro.
Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to share with you, if the government of Grenada having problems paying their civil servants, that means the government has no money. If the government has no money, where are they getting money to subsidize fuel and all that great stuff? That's why they had to raise the cap. Okay? Because they need that extra taxes. One minute.
I'm here in the background, yeah. You need to load the background.
So, that's the first thing I was going to say to you. But then, if he subsidized...
I'm still hearing the whatever it
yeah,
is
if
in the
he
background.
subsidized the...
Hold on, caller. You need to kill the volume in the back. Because
I killed it already.
Yeah, okay, good, yeah. Nice.
Yeah. So if he subsidized now the fuel costs and subsidize things to help Grenada, then he would lose all his leisure to go to Africa and all of that, because the government already don't have money. They're spending stupid money, breaking ground on this and breaking ground on projects that they can't even afford and can't even do. So tell me, how the hell they're going to be able to subsidize anything? They don't have money, and he's spending exuberant amount of money, traveling all over the place, still paying that big rent, all that good stuff. So that's why they cannot subsidize anything to help the people of Grenada. Just wanted to share that with you.
No problem, brother. Thank you so very much. I hope folks heard you properly, eh? In case, if it's not, you're going to get a call back. All right, no problems. Thank you. Yes, indeed, folks, yeah. You know, look, Guyana, they're having fuel shortages in Guyana right now. They're having fuel shortages down there. What have we done to protect in case that happens? What do we do, even though the price of the 20-pound cylinder remains the same? Have we secured our fuel? In other words, have we secured to ensure that for the next 3 months at least, that there are enough supplies on island or on the way to the island so that we don't end up in a problem where everybody had to go back to coal pot and chopping down tree? Have we done that? Because you see it happening in Guyana, and Guyana is an oil producing country. And we see it happening in Guyana. What about us? But our government remains silent. Listen how silent they remain. Eh? This same document I was speaking to you about here. You know when they sent out that? Today is when they sent out the price change that take effect since Saturday. Because they shame. They didn't want to put it out before we come, while we on air on Friday night. They didn't want to put it out. So they never put it out on Friday night, which is when they usually would have put it out. Because they know talking points going to take it and take them apart on it. So they never touched it on Friday night. They didn't do it Saturday, so people just go. I was in a taxi on Saturday morning, and the driver went into the gas station. I say, you know, it's $17 a gallon, eh? He said, what? I say, yeah, $17. What channel you go see? He said, but me hear that? I say, of course, they didn't put it out, but I know. I say, because they sent it out to the gas stations, but they never sent it out to the general public. So I say, I know, I see it already. It's $17 across the board. We pulled up at the gas station. So said, so done. $17. So people went to the gas station not knowing what the new price of fuel was. I would know, you know, I have my sources. But they only sent out this. This was only sent out today. 2 days after people already paying it is when they send it out on the third day. That's when they decide to let you know how much you have to pay for fuel. So what if somebody to go to the gas station and say, well, me I see no fuel thing come out, fuel is that price. Why somebody, what confusion you're trying to create for them poor workers that working at the gas station and so. Who people might tell them, well, me see nothing come out from government, you know. So you can't charge me no 17. What would you have said in a situation like that? Would somebody go and they decide they antagonizing those people? My goodness. 440737, so you could call us on the WhatsApp 1473-440-7377 or 421-7279. You can call us on either number, yeah? You can call us on either number. Yeah? So they didn't know that one day they may have had to face the same things they're accusing the NNP of. They didn't know that. They didn't know. But remember what the mantra was early up in the thing. Yeah? Remember what these people at them was saying. You just have to remember things that they were saying.
Some administration, they are afraid to take the tough decisions early. But we are not afraid. That is why our Prime Minister said he's going to transform Marketing Board. I understand the Lagoon Road. I understand the Lagoon Road was there to be worked on before, but they had no guts. They had no belly. I heard the Wall Street had to be, idea was being, you know, was there for the Wall Street to be transformed, but they had no guts. They have no belly. Listen, we have belly and we have guts, and we are going to take the tough decision, right? And we are going to do it early. And you know why early? Let me tell you why early, right? Because some people would not buy into it early. But if you give them chance for them to see it and for the thing to materialize, then we will get buy-in.
All you hear it for yourself. Listen again.
And folks, let me just say something before I end. Some administration, they are afraid to take the tough decisions early. But we are not afraid. That is why our Prime Minister said he's going to transform Marketing Board. I understand the Lagoon Road. I understand the Lagoon Road was there to be worked on before, but they had no guts. They had no belly. I heard the Wall Street had to be, idea was being, you know.
And folks, just for your information, and I did say I would have to speak on that sometime this week. You all remember that something was supposed to be taking place on Lagoon Road, eh? You all remember they came and they put down some stick and they rope off and all kind of thing. And together with, I think it was Camper Nicholson, one of them, they were supposed to be doing a project on the Lagoon Road. Right now it's supposed to be a nice park that we could take our children on a Sunday and they put a little blanket and it would have look a steel pan music and all those kind of thing. Remember, Lagoon Road was supposed to have been converted to a park, eh? By the same individual you're seeing on the screen there. Remember that? Remember Wall Street was supposed to have been moved. That they're supposed to have gone a little further down. Just across from Le Marquis Complex. For those of you that remember, what is Le Marquis Complex? Right across the road from Le Marquis Complex where they started to cut down tree and they started to back off place and put plant and all kind of thing. Remember Wall Street was supposed to have been moved and gone over there. But you recognize that Wall Street and all the places, with one or two more it seems now, are in the exact location that they have been since 2022. Yeah? We didn't have guts. We didn't have belly. Eh? We didn't have guts. And they didn't have belly. What happened to the marketing board? Everything you're talking about there, that we didn't have guts and we didn't have belly. What's the situation with the marketing board?
They are afraid to take the tough decisions early. But we are not afraid. That is why our Prime Minister said he's going to transform Marketing Board. I understand the Lagoon Road. I understand the Lagoon Road.
Yeah, the Lagoon Road. Tell us what's going on with the Lagoon Road now, nah? Tell us what's going on with the Lagoon Road now. Remember Lagoon Road? That was, oh man, was back and forth and all kind of thing about Lagoon Road, but yeah, fisherman had to move, they move shack, they think this, move that, all kind of thing. Right now, high bush.
Was there to be worked on before, but they had no guts. They had no belly. I heard the Wall Street had to be, idea was being, you know, was there for the Wall Street to be transformed, but they had no guts. They have no belly. listen, we have belly and we have guts, and we are going to take the tough decision, right? And we are going to do it early. And you know why early? Let me tell you why early, right? Because some people would not buy into it early. But if you give them chance for them to see it and for the thing to materialize, then we will get buy-in.
Nice one, a lot of you clapping there. You want to take back all your clap. No, take back all your clap. Take back all your clap. All listen down there, all your clapping. Yeah! Yeah! Where the marketing board? Where you there? Where the marketing board there? Where you there? Where the Lagoon Road project? Where is the Wall Street project? They come. Fireworks, music, performance. All kind of simmy-dimmy and mawet. Sorry, mawez. Next thing them Lucian Gus, man. All sort of mawez. All kind of nonsense. Spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to have big launch for Heroes Park. When you pass it now, where they? High bush. That's all we gain. I said, high bush. You have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hey, good night, man.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, good night.
Yeah,
I hear
good
the
night.
man talking about Guts and Berry and the NNP and have that. I think he's right.
You do have
right.
guts and you do have belly.
He's very right. Yeah, you have the NNP had a Guts and Berry like them because the NNP had a Guts and Berry to thief all the money. They can't afford to do that, you know. They didn't have a belly. They didn't have the guts to just go on a platform and say the reason why the other side get in is because we didn't know there was NDC or whatever. They didn't have that kind of guts. They didn't have the guts to come out and lie to the public openly like that without no shame. The NNP had a guts. The NNP Prime Minister had the guts to go and rent a place for $20,500 a month. And them kind of thing. No, we're not them kind of guts. No. So you're right. We don't have them guts, well done. Guts is a thing that the NDC have. To do all those wrong things and come in openly and talk. Just lying for us. And after they don't lie, they come in and front and tell us they didn't say that. I mean, it takes guts to do a thing like that, man. NDC really have guts. Good night.
All right, my brother. They have more guts than breadfruit. 440-7377. That's the number for you to call on the WhatsApp. And you can call us on 421-7279. WhatsApp only as well. Yeah, you've got to call us on the WhatsApp on both numbers. I usually see on a nightly basis folks been trying to call us directly. No, you can't call us direct. You have to save the number and then you have to call us on the WhatsApp. In the case of the 440 number, put +1473 and then 440-7377. Save it to your phone and then you'll be able to see it on WhatsApp. If you don't do that, you won't see it. If you just say 440-7377, you wouldn't see it easily. And as I say that, look, somebody trying to call me direct again. As I say it, you know, going off on the thing, yeah. Somebody trying to call me direct again. No, you have to call us on WhatsApp. Yeah, you have to call us on the WhatsApp. Somebody's asking me, and what about Port Highway? No, they're afraid that. They're afraid that no. They ain't going behind them on Port Highway. Election coming. Remember we say you have to do it early. So people could buy into it. You have to do it early. If you don't do it early, people ain't go buy. Yeah, so that's what the guy out there now. The same individual that went and sit down and tell the people on Port Highway, we're going to build a place for all you. Don't worry. We're going to build a place and we're going to put all you there and then we could fix up it. Like no place to park and all kind of thing. Nice. Yeah, we go fix up there nice. And listen, let me make it clear here. I am not against, and I don't think anybody with sense, right, would be against fixing up Port Highway. You wouldn't be against something like that. You want Port Highway to fix up. You want Wall Street to fix up. But it's how you do what you're doing. Not that you're doing it, it's how you do what you're doing. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Good night.
Good night, my dear. Go right ahead. You're live.
Yes, Sheldon. NMP people don't have guts and they don't have belly to buy both, put it in people's name, and then say, win or lose are set for life. NMP people don't have guts and belly to do that.
My
Good
dear,
night.
hello, before you go, you was in the vehicle with me today? Listen, no, sister, I didn't even realize I travel on it. I didn't even realize I travel on it. It's today. Today, I learned that is the boat,
Oh, okay.
I had no idea.
I just hope when Mrs. Pierre win the election, she gonna look into all those thieves and put them where they belong, because Grenada money is for Grenadian people. It's not for these people who never had job before, and at the end of the day now they set for life in 4 years. This is so wrong.
Yes, indeed. All right, my dear. Thank you so very much.
Oh yes. Have a good night.
Papa, I didn't even realize. I did not realize. Yeah? Papa, 1473-440-7377. Call us on the WhatsApp, and 421-7279. If you're outside of Grenada, of course, you need to add the 1473 there as well. And call us on the WhatsApp. Yeah, what going on with the Port Highway? No, they run from the Port Highway issue right now. They run from it. Yeah? They didn't even go in and tell the people nothing, so they're reaching Guangkai now. Yeah, them and the Guangkai people having it out. So Guangkai, they gone behind now. The same people that was telling Guangkai, oh, we put road for all you. And the Prime Minister go and he walk in the road. He was walking Guangkai Road. He was walking Guangkai Road. He was walking as man with his sandals in his hand. He was walking Guangkai Road. So he was walking out. Now they're going to tell the same people who they laugh and grin with. They shake their hand, all kind of thing. They say they put water there for them. They bring up electricity, all kind of thing, because they use it solar and all kind of thing. The same set of people, they come and tell them, all you have to move. All you have to go. And again, I don't disagree with government saying, hey, we want to use this area for development and therefore we have to relocate you all. But to come and tell people, who are the structures done? How you expect somebody to dismantle a concrete house in 7 days? How you expect them reasonably and sensibly now? And we ain't going to accuse all you having that. Well, except probably Mr. Cornwall to an extent. But we ain't going to accuse all you having that. How all you expect the people and them to go and dissemble what they have and move to where? There's a way to do things and there's a way not to do things. Now, in my mind, it seems as though, they like backroom dealing. So in the backroom dealing, somebody probably come to them and say, see that Guangkai Hill area there? I could put a nice development up there. Could put a nice guest house or an ecotourism thing or a hotel or whatever. We could put a nice thing there. So what we need you all to do is get rid of the people who there. But before we sign on and come on officially to do that, you all need to get rid of the people. So they give the people 7 days and tell them they have to move. That is my view in what is taking place there. That is my view. Yes, squatting is wrong. Again, you're in opposition now. In 1 month, you could be in government. Let's just clarify. Squatting is wrong. But you're dealing with human beings. Some of these people have small children. So if you want them to move, my suggestion, and I'll make a suggestion in this instance, is locate somewhere else and say to them, look, we're doing the project 500 houses. It's 50 of you, it's 20 of you, it's how much of you? We are going to give you first dibs on these houses that we're going to do there. So that you relocate them in the same way that during the new National Party period, you had people that were living and squatting right around the Port Louis area there. All down by Pandy Beach. And so remember, it had a set of people living there. You had people even live in the build-up place. Up in what we used to call the ruins. You used to have a party and thing there. Where the government building used to be up there that was destroyed by the Americans in 83. That you had and was formed what? The Santa Maria Hotel, I think it was before that. I ain't that old, so I ain't gonna know. Yeah? But you had people that actually were living up there and so on, living in and between there. And when the land was being purchased by the person who was doing Port Louis and for that development and so on, those people were relocated. So if you go in St. David right now, you go see where they were relocated to. So the people who came in said, yes, we'll help you. So together with government, they built the houses and they relocated the people from that area, from Pandy Beach and so the next day. They didn't just tell them, all you have 7 days to go, where all you go is all your business. Again, governance. We have a governance deficit in this country. A serious governance deficit. And you would think that after 4 years, by now, they would have at least gotten the hang of one or two things. They can't even get the hang of running a ministry. Instead, they're ruining ministry. You have civil servants complaining every day of the behavior of some ministers. And don't think the one in Karakou is the worst, you know. He bad. But that's not the worst. You have civil servants watch. They're complaining about the behavior of these ministers because they feel there's a Lord above everybody else. They ain't taking advice. They're doing a sort of stupidness. They're signing things that they should not sign and agreeing to things that they should not agree to. And when people within the governance structure telling them, they're saying that NNPIs, they're trying to mess us up. And then when they find themselves in problems, they're coming back and blame the same civil servants who was warning them not to do that. They're coming back and say it's them that do it. It's a prime minister, I know, move that PS. That PS is not one of us, he's against us. Move that PS. That's the sort of thing they're doing. And now trying to bamboozle them with these cabinet secretary appointment letters, as if that letter could stand up to anything. But that is what they want to give them. That is what they want to give them. Yeah? You're still putting them on a contract? It's the same thing. This is the nonsense that we see in taking place in our country because there is a governance deficit taking place in our country. And the worst thing is to have a governance deficit at the point in time that you have a cost of living crisis and an economic craziness taking place in the world. So you have a cost of living crisis with a governance deficit taking place at the same time. And a bunch of people that are trying to gaslight you into believing nonsense. Bad. Real bad. Folks, we have to ensure that when the time comes, we get a government that can govern. Not a government that is about photos, videos, and optics. But a government that is above actually making sure, that's what they're about, actually making sure that the average man, the average woman, feels the effects of government's programs, feels the effects of what government is trying to do for the people. So that it benefits the people. Because I warn all you, look out for that next Grenlec bill, you know. Believe me, look out for the next Grenlec bill. And when you get it, because remember they stopped sending the paper bill. In case you all don't know, you all need to sign up so they can mail it or message it to your phone and so on. They're going to send the bills to you. There's also an app online that you can check your Grenlec bills on, just in case you're advertising for Grenlec today. You can check your bills on. Now, note that the fuel cost is going to go up and government has done nothing. Over on the non-fuel cost side, you will be seeing an increase in your electricity bills. That is a given. And don't be surprised if you start to hear the telecom companies like Digicel and Flow start to jump in now and say, hey, we need an increase too. Yeah? Because the cost of operation is increasing for us. So we need an increase in them thing. Yes, my dear, I hear that as well. I hear that a particular PS who was demoted is because that PS did not want to. You see, I was asking why that PS get demoted. You know, remember it had that PS that get demoted? We hear it's because they wanted that PS to sign a wrong thing. And that PS decide they ain't signing it. It's not one of my favorite people, but so I hear. Yeah? They say that that PS was asked to sign certain thing, and that PS decides she ain't signing it because she ain't going in jail for them. She if she going in jail, she will go in jail for herself. But she ain't going in jail for them. So I hear that PS stood up to them and said, me signing that. And that is why the PS end up in problems and end up where she end up. Collie didn't find it strange that that happened just before Polaris. And Kim? Or didn't find that happened just before they launched Polaris and thing. I hear she didn't want to sign thing. She said, I ain't signing that. Me ain't going down so. So I buy, so I sell. Yeah? But folks, let me let you all know about this activity while I remember it one time. Yes. The St. Andrew Southwest Constituency Branch. Good night, Manda. The St. Andrew Southwest Constituency Branch, they have the breakfast sale at the Grenville Car Park, the 25th of April 2026, 6:30 a.m. So Grenville Car Park is the place to be on the 25th. The 25th, I believe, is this Saturday. Yeah, the 20th. No, not this Saturday. Yeah, this Saturday, yeah. So it's going to be at the Grenville Car Park this Saturday from 6:30 a.m. Manda will be there with her team, the St. Andrew Southwest Constituency Branch, with their breakfast sale. Yeah? And you know, now I go and I say, I go advertise, looking for people in and between. Because I know how the thing go. Papa, you tell me say that. Yeah? Let me show you another little something here. Yes. Lizzie's Delight, Eatery and Bar. Rice and lentil, peas, ground provision, green salad, stewed chicken or stew fish. You could call or text it. Watch, the food does taste nice. I eat by Lisi already. There, that it lashed. Oh, them Trinidadian does say it lashing. Notice how they say these days, them Trinidadian. No? Yeah. Anyhow, it lashing. Yeah. 423-7701. Place your orders. Delivery fee only $5. And you could pick up at the Bourgeois playing field, or you could place your order and them kind of thing. Help out young people who trying to help themselves now. Yeah, that's why I have no problem just taking something like this and putting it on the program and playing it. Yeah, or putting it up for them. Yeah, so let me give you that number again. Save the number, 423-7701. You bus drivers on the West Coast, you could get your lunch and thing day. Night, good thing. You understand? Good thing. You know I don't eat any and anyway. So if I eat in there, it's good thing. Right? Good thing. Check them out. Nice. Yeah, man. You know, I'm going to do that, Papa. I don't know where I'm going to put myself in there. Yes, and look, Mel's Bless Hands. You know how to help people. People are trying to help themselves. Yeah, because these are young people that I'm trying to help here, who were within the government service and have been targeted. And now they've gone and they're trying to do their own things. These are young people with children, youth with children. And they're trying to do their own things to help themselves, so help them out. Right? You have Mel's Bless Hands, and she's 404-8090. She want to thank everybody that came out to the barbecue. And she have different things on a daily basis. Give her a call, man. You can see what she have. I think she has soup on her Saturdays. Yeah, soup on Saturdays, corn soup, lentil peas, dry pigeon peas, red beans, and them kind of thing. Fridays is chicken Alfredo and all that. What, Papa? Here's a restaurant you open there, Mel? Or let's check out the thing. 404-8090. Give the girl a call. Or let's set up the thing. Help them young people. They try to help themselves. If nobody else is helping, Talking Points helping. Yeah? I don't even asking for a free lunch. No, it's a business. Right? I don't even asking for that. And folks, let me let you all know. This Wednesday, NNP Connect moves to the Marion Multipurpose Center starting at 6:30 p.m. Yes, so Senator the Honorable Dwight Horsford, he is up to bat and he will be having a wonderful team there with her, former parliamentary representative, Brother Gregory Bowen. He'll be having former Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell will be there, along with Senator the Honorable Mayana Charles and, of course, political leader of the New National Party, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, soon to be Grenada's first female Prime Minister. And a lot of them don't like to hear that. Yeah? But she will be an effective Prime Minister. Just remember, when a certain man who was the MP for St. Andrew Southeast was saying that money wasn't there to build stadium, and stadium can build and give the money for housing and all kind of mawes, Honorable Emlyn Pierre came in, and in the space of 2 years, stadium was up and running with first class qualification and certification. We were able not only to have Carifta, but have the Grenada Invitationals, where we had world-class athletes from every corner of the world were able to come in Grenada. You were able to see Asafa Powell and them come and run in the Grenada National Stadium. Yeah? Now outside of Carifta with the wonderful performances by our athletes, the only thing that's taking place in the stadium is pigeon. Pigeon and pigeon mess. That's the only things taking place in the stadium there right now. Because you imagine you had the Grenada Invitationals. That's something that should have still be running. Yeah? And folks, before I run out of time tonight, I want to talk about two other things. I will come back to some of these things. I ain't done with them. But I want to talk about two other things there. I was looking at GBN News tonight. While I was looking at GBN News, I saw something there. I know my wonderful sister Jenny Simon will effectively address this particular issue on Thursday. I am pretty sure that our sister Jenny Simon, let me tell all you right now, just put a little note in on your phone. Simon says Thursday, 5 o'clock. Because I know sister Jenny Simon go address this. But let me just show all you how some of those people out there, while people like sister Jenny, myself, and others trying to educate you all, that these people trying to play you all for fools. So let's see the GBN report.
As Project Polaris comes to life, an initiative which promises to modernize Grenada's healthcare system, project sponsor Andrea St. Bernard is dispelling concerns relating to the acquisition of the property at Calavini Estate. The government recently broke ground on the project, which promises a 250-bed general hospital situated within a medical city. Reporter Deidre Seeley tells us more.
Project sponsor for Project Polaris, Ambassador Andrea St. Bernard, is addressing concerns related to the acquisition of land for Grenada's future General Hospital and Hopeville Medical City. While improvements in healthcare are widely welcomed, some members of the public have raised concerns about aspects of Project Polaris, including the acquisition of 83.9 acres of land in Calavini Estate. Conveyance documents show that 36 million Eastern Caribbean dollars in taxpayer funds were used to purchase the property now held by Grenada Asset Bank Company Limited, or GABL. Speaking on behalf of the government, the project sponsor confirmed that the lands identified for Project Polaris were acquired from a private landowner in November 2023 through GABL. She explained that GABL was established to hold strategic assets linked to priority national development projects, including Project Polaris. The entity is entirely owned by the government of Grenada, and its directors include senior public officers, among them the permanent secretaries within the Ministries of Finance, Agriculture and Lands, and Legal Affairs. According to Ambassador St. Bernard, the conveyance was reviewed by Mitchell & Co. on behalf of the private landowner and not the government. Research shows that Mitchell & Co. is the law firm founded by the current Prime Minister before his entry into politics. She also explained that a separate land purchase by the non-profit company Partners for Development Inc. from the same vendor is unrelated to Project Polaris. St. Bernard emphasized that all aspects of the acquisition were in keeping with established legal procedures and that the relevant records are available to the public.
Now, folks, let's understand something here. Sister Jenny Simon made it very clear that in the beginning you were hearing about a certain amount of land. Then the amount of land reduced by several acres. The accusation is that, one, the Prime Minister's law firm was involved in the land transaction. For all intents and purposes, that goes against the Integrity in Public Life Act. Even though they were acting on behalf of the vendor, it is wrong, because it gives the impression of insider trading, that the Prime Minister is working. There are other lands in Grenada he could have buy, but he go to someone that he has a personal and business relationship with for a business transaction in which he, as Prime Minister, well, not as Prime Minister, But in the context of being the person who start and whose name is on the door, Mitchell's, I nearly say Mitchell's Pharmacy, you need to go there and check on something for somebody, yeah. But the law firm is his law firm. It ain't my law firm, It ain't your law firm. It ain't the Grenadian people law firm. It's his law firm. It had other lands in Grenada that might have been just as suitable or even more suitable. But no, they didn't go after that. They go after a specific set of land. And even if you say that is the case, you say, well, okay, we want to make sure that this thing looks as transparent and as honest as possible. Let us use a different law firm to do the transaction. Because it means, therefore, that I'm pretty sure it's a couple 100,000, if not as much of $1 million, end up in the Prime Minister's law firm. Tell us the amount so that we don't have to speculate that is over $1 million. Tell us the amount of money that the Prime Minister's law firm made from that land transaction. And if in any other country on earth right now, that would not be considered corruption. Tell us that. Don't try and bamboozle us with these kind of, oh, nothing wrong. Nothing wrong? You ain't addressing the issues that Jenny Simon raised. Conflict of interest. You're going against the Anti-Corruption and Integrity in Public Life Act. Because the Prime Minister's law firm is not the only law firm on the island. There are other law firms that could have been used to do the transaction. So it looks like insider trading, but that's not the only issue. She spoke about his Partners for Development, or whatever they name. How come you decide that you want to do this nearly $500 million project and you buying land next to it? That is insider trading. In any part of the world, under any definition, that is insider trading. There's no other way to describe it. How you can say it have X amount of acres of land. By the time the process is completed, you have less land in the hands of the government. Some of the land end up in the hands of the NDC as a political organization, and some of the lands end up in your personal hands. Tell us. And then you want to watch us in our face. Like if we some granitang monkeys so we don't understand what's going on. And I'm sure the monkeys in granitang, you still can't even fool them because they're smart as what? You want to watch us in our face and tell us that what we see in there, that is okay, that is right. So you have what is going to end up costing the Grenadian people over $500 million was the lower estimate. It's over that, but over $1 billion. Because it's more than the annual budget of Grenada that is going to cost for the completion of that project. And you just happen to see piece of the land. You know what, boy? I want that piece because if I put an apartment complex there, and I'm just, guessing here. If I take that piece of land and I put an apartment complex there, and you have the hospital thing there, then when people come to use the hospital, they could always stay at my apartment complex. And if they stay at my apartment complex and so, I could have a place downstairs selling food and thing. So people that going to and from the hospital could stay by me and they could use the restaurant downstairs and thing, and I could make millions of dollars a month. Yeah, I could make millions of dollars off of that because you're going to have a lot of people going in and coming out. So I've positioned myself, because I'm at the cabinet level, I've positioned myself to benefit from the procedure that I am putting in place, and saying that I'm putting this in place for the people of Grenada and everybody, but you're making sure and you secure yourself and your political organization. Tell me how that could be right. Tell me how that could be right. And you see, this is why I've got my issues. I love, believe me, I love these young journalists that are coming out right now. And I recognize that over the past month or so, they have started taking up some of the stories that are out there and trying to deal with these stories. So Polaris, and they heard Jenny speaking about the land, because only Jenny speaking about it. They heard Jenny speaking about the land, so they come and they've started to speak about it too. But they don't understand. They're not at the level yet where they understand to ask the probing questions and not just taking these press releases. Remember, you all are journalists. You see me? I'm a political activist. I'm a journalist too, but I'm a political activist. But you all are supposed to be journalists, not PR specialists on behalf of the government. You all are not doing government public relations. Learn that. I love you all. Learn it. This is not a criticism. This is advice. Because I don't expect you all to know that yet. Some of you are even in journalism for a year. You've not been there for a year. It's much more than being able to speak properly and to present a nice picture in front of a camera. It is doing the research and understanding clearly the issues that you have to speak about and ask questions on. Again, let me state clearly, because there's some stupidity out there. This is not a criticism. This is advice. Learn the issues that you're going to ask questions about. The laws of Grenada are online. Read for yourself the Integrity in Public Life Act and the Anti-Corruption Act. Hold the Constitution as your Bible. And when you read those and you internalize those and you ask the questions, you could be to the level of a Linda Straker. Because had everything been okay right now, I'm pretty sure she'd have been asking some very probing questions in relation to issues like this. So you all need to ask those probing questions, because they are getting away by getting you to do their PR for them. You're not their public relation officer. You are a journalist, and that's why I'll always remember people like the late Leslie Pierre. I'll always remember him. You're not a PR specialist. Stop doing PR pieces on behalf of the government. Don't let them just hand you thing and you take that and you run with it. Ask questions, probing questions. And don't let them get away, because I realized that a few press conferences, they're asking questions, you asking questions of them, and when you ask questions, if you ask 3 questions, they answer 1.5, and the other, they talk for a long period of time, and then they end, and do like they forget the others. They know it, you know, they remember it, but they do like they forget. And you all don't say, well, no, you didn't answer that question. You all just let it pass. No, stop them. Not because there's minister this or minister that. Ask them the probing questions. It's either they answer or they don't answer. But ask the questions of them. Alright? 1473440. Yeah, me I know who the feel left fooling with that. I'll leave them to Jenny. She will deal with them. Yeah? You're admitting that some of the land there is in a private thing, not government thing. In that piece, you are actually admitting that what she's saying is correct. So you watch the land, you say, whoa, real land here, boy, but it have a real nice piece there. We ain't go give government that part. But you see the others, yeah, give government the rest. But this nice piece here, boy, yeah, boy, putting up an apartment complex there. All that money we go in Nigeria and Ghana and collect, we will come back, we will put up a nice apartment complex there. We will put up a nice restaurant and thing there. Yeah? Or we will come back and rent the same property that we just buy. We will come back and we go lease that property to the government of Grenada. Watch out. It come in. Crook on them. 14734407377. That is the number for you to call and get on the inside of tonight's program. Yeah? Just certain people don't like to hear that tune at all. Let us play it every night. I'll play it every night. I can't wait for Simon Says on Thursday. I can't wait. Hello, good night.
Clock it.
Clock it.
Sheldon, I want to ask a question.
I hope I could answer.
Why every time the Prime Minister he going and he going for himself? Is Grenada only with one person on Grenada?
No, I don't agree. He doesn't go with himself. The man does go with photographer. He does go with secretary. Well, we expect him to go with security. He going with the partners and them online because he gone with two. He gone with the chief of staff and some other head of some committee or some kind of thing, board of directors or something gone with him too. The man does travel heavy because you paying for it. You paying for it. Even if the people pay for the flights and so you're still getting per diem from the government of Grenada. You paying for it.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't traveling
Well,
alone. He traveling heavy. But the cameraman ain't
Yeah,
going this time. I think I
that's what
see
I'm
him here
saying.
still. Yeah.
None of the ministers don't go in with him. None of the ministers
But he don't want them
go
with
in.
him. He don't want them with him.
Oh, okay.
He don't want these people with
Well,
him.
when I run in, is a one-man show then?
Of course. That's exactly what's taking place there. He don't want no ministers with him. Hey, sure, you are them people.
Wow.
You are them people and them see what the man doing. Hey, the man try to keep his business private.
That's good. Because you know what, man, I had to ask you the question. I find that Sunday night I sit down there and I was thinking, I said, why every time he going, not a minister is going? Something wrong. Something definitely wrong. You understand?
Yeah.
And my next question is, here on this morning, we had an issue in the market this morning. Normally they have a big gate, which normally used to open all these, but one of the security, they lost the key. They come and they change the lock. Well, normally they change the lock. The guys and then start opening it. They open it, they put some beam there last week, Thursday or whatever. All right. People come in and parking in the parking lots. They come in so nice and mad. Other vendors coming in. Them and all coming in the same gate.
Mm-hmm.
They put a big chain in front of the market, which they say for people to come and park to buy the fish. People can't even get a park to buy the fish because other vehicle parking up there. They are closing the gate where the people are to go in upstairs. So you have to make all the wrongs to come back to go on the side of the fish market. So this morning I see the young lady come and closing the gate. I said, why are you closing the gate? She get authority from the man upstairs. Who's the man upstairs? Bob. Bob is not a minister of fish. He's not the manager. So I want to say Mr. Sendui and Mr. Richard are saying for downstairs. So everything they say upstairs, they have to come and show it downstairs and they just do what they want. You understand? So I say I want the minister and who is the authority to come and talk to the vendor because that is not right. Yeah, that is not right, Shelan.
Keep me updated with what's going on with that situation because I ain't something right.
You understand? So ask Bob, I said, Bob, you the manager for the fish market? I want to know if he's the manager for the fish market. Shelan, there's a lot of politics in this workplace in the market. You have a lot of politics in that. And I'm telling you straight up. I don't care who vexed with me. I don't care what they say about me. I don't care. But you have a lot of politics in that fish market right there. Because these people retire already and they take them back to work. They are in retirement already, they send them home already, retire, and they take them to work and they do other stupidness. You understand? They're losing customers. Because when people come to buy the fish and they don't get no park, they go in a way. They don't care about the vendors because them only come in emergency service. And we are to catch we help for we work for hard for we dollar. You understand? They don't care about us.
No, that's
so I'm begging the minister. I'm begging the minister who is the authority to come and talk to the vendor because Shelan, to be honest, I ain't taking me to take a ship. I never taking out that show me short because me and them go really follow this side of market. I don't care if them vendors who don't want to talk about. I like to talk. I love to talk. 32 years now since I did the market and I know all them activists and them. They don't good. I know them. They had business space. They went to ground. They take them that they went to ground and they coming back now and we send them home and retirement and they come back and play souvenirs. But I know one of them. Shit, I want to hear talking. I know me more bossing because I was telling them straight up in the face. They don't good. So I want the minister who the authority to come and say something to the vendors. Otherwise, we go to the street. That's why souvenirs are going on in the market, you know.
All right, my dear. When I pass the tongue out to make a look pass by too. All right.
Okay, sir. All right.
Yes, indeed. 1473-440-7377. and 14734217279. Those are the numbers you can call on WhatsApp only to get onto the inside. No, don't call direct. Call on the WhatsApp to get in direct. I didn't want to start the program with this sort of thing tonight, but I think I need to end tonight. We have about 6 minutes officially. We're gonna go. We usually go a little over, not by much tonight. There's a trend that has been happening in the Caribbean over the weekend. I was wondering if somebody passed hand on us in the Caribbean over the weekend. In Trinidad, you had the situation where they found people trying to dump 50 bodies, babies and other people who were unclaimed at funeral homes. They were just trying to dump them. I mean, that is their thing. Then you had the situation of the attack on a municipal police station in the San Fernando area, where a police officer was murdered. In fact, the post-mortem has shown now that she was strangled, and 68 firearms were stolen. I think the police have gotten back roughly half that amount. So far, they've arrested 6 people. And so, but then on top of that, you had shootings taking place down there, including a shooting where a child was killed as well. Yeah. Then in St. Lucia, there were some shootings over the weekend. People were killed there again. In St. Kitts, shootings over the weekend. People killed there. I think you had a multiple death shooting in Barbados. I think it's 3 people died. That sort of thing. And then for today now, for a shooting, I don't think the person was injured as far as I know, but someone walked into a barber shop and shot someone. Let me say again, this is how it started about 2 years ago. All you remember? It started up with one incident. And by the time we check ourselves down by October, November, it was shooting after shooting, and this one gets shot in the head here, and that one gets shot, and this fella come out and shoot one here, and was a set of thing. Royal Grenada Police Force, nip it in the bud. I have confidence that you all are the best police service in the region. Although me ain't like all your hand in that Lansapine case. And we're still waiting to hear the results of what is the outcome of the case with former Senator Neelan Franklin. We ain't hear from all you on that yet. And we don't know what is the latest in the courts with the John T. murder trial. That is not all you again. That is the courts now. Because you all say that is the person that do it. I think they're out on bail as far as I know right now, going about the business. But you all say that is who do it. The courts start to deal with that and verify if indeed that was the person that did what happened there. Then you have the murder, the case, as far as I consider is murder, of Senator Neelan Franklin. And then you have that case in Lansapine, which are staying on you all, because if you look at your record, you all have a very good record. But that is a stain on you all. Don't allow what taking place there to rise its head. I know if you go to former Commissioner Clarkson, he go tell you that. You go to former Commissioner Martin, he go tell you the same thing. Don't allow what is taking place there now. Randy! Sorry. Commissioner Connoff. Don't allow what is taking place there now to rise its head. We want to continue being the best country on earth. We go fix the problem of having the worst government. We will get rid of them. The time will come for that. But don't allow us to also have the worst country along with having the worst government. Don't let this thing get out of hand. Get to the bottom of it quickly and efficiently. Don't let what has happened in the case of Senator Neelan Franklin and what has taken place in relation to the Lansapine case. Don't let that become the norm. Deal with these things and deal with them now. Get to the bottom of it. Because when the reprisals and the reprisals and the reprisals and the reprisal on the reprisal for the reprisal, when those things start to take place and bullets start to fly, is innocent people that does end up paying the price. Not just the guilty. The innocent does pay the price. Because they just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So let us make sure that we get to the bottom of that ASAP. We cannot allow criminality to take hold. We seen what going on in Trinidad, we're seeing that. A police station they go in, kill the police officer and take a set of gun and bullets, over 4,000 rounds of ammunition, and go with it. So we cannot allow, because you tend to see some of the things that are happening in Trinidad reflected over here a bit. Not to the same level, but you see them being reflected. So when you see it starting off, nip it in the bud. Deal with it one time. Don't allow it to get out of hand. Yeah? Folks, that's about all the time we have for Talking Points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to and with you, and definitely not about you. Love each and every one of you. We will be back tomorrow night with Talking Tuesdays. Yes, we'll be back tomorrow night with more Talking Points for you. My name is Sheldon Scott. I am out. Do enjoy the rest of your night tonight. And to my, hey, Mr. Handsome, don't feel I forget you, man. And to my loving cousin up there in 6 Roads. Yeah, cuz, don't worry, man. Cousin coming up and look for you again soon. All right? Love each and every one of you. And do enjoy the rest of your night.
Hey, yo, Killer T. Well, long live the National Party. You don't know right about the whole of the country land now. And everybody voting for NMP. Listen, man. We want to win NMP. Win NMP. We got me win NMP. Win NMP. We really win NMP. Win NMP. We vote for NMP. For NMP. Grab the X. For NMP. Stick the X. For NMP. Put the X. For NMP. Put the X. For NMP. We want to win NMP. Win NMP. We vote for NMP. For NMP. So much a good thing he has done. Put on the terminal in town. Even Grenada a stadium. And I vote for both to touchdown. But tell me if the money can done. They have been jogging on the ground. They say you get briefcase of money, but it's no help the country. So tell me where Uncle Tilly, he don't have no heart for we. We want to win NMP. Win NMP. We got me win NMP. Win NMP. We really win NMP. Win NMP. We vote for NMP. For NMP. Grab the X. For NMP. Stick the X. For NMP. Put the X. For NMP. Put the X. For NMP. We want to win NMP. Win NMP. We vote for NMP. For NMP. They're telling us that they have a heart. But tell them it's not for the country. But all we beg them to help we beg them to help they cry no they don't have money. So tell me why we vote Tilly. He can't do nothing to help we. He making it no hard and we. But we just strive and die. So make sure you vote NMP. We don't vote in no NDC. So take your right way with me.